Hello traders, welcome to today's video. I'm going to try and get this one out there pretty quickly today, so I'll keep it under 10 minutes because there is a trade that I'm looking at taking in just a moment, which may happen whilst I am recording, but we will wait and see. I will go over that, of course, as we get through the video, but I guess I want to start this off just with a little bit of a just a little bit of a talk about the price action that we had yesterday and basically recently through the last couple of weeks, really. So it's been very difficult for a lot of people, okay? And if you are one of those who has suffered from obviously everything that has gone on within the market over the last few days, I just want to maybe, I don't know, like say just you've got this far within trading, right? And I think realistically what we saw yesterday within the market, although it didn't like capitulate in terms of price necessarily, I think we saw mass capitulation, peak bear across all of the markets, really. And it almost used the FOMC stuff as a catalyst in order to generate that panic, in order to generate that fear, and in order to really just mess people up with anything that they were doing within their trading. So look, I've had messages over the past couple of days. I've seen comments within the chat and things, and I've had people reach out to me that have been very badly hurt during this move down. Okay, this is something that, I mean, it was a possibility that we were looking at, and we knew that the range that we were in a couple of weeks ago, we knew that it was going to break down on that Friday, or break out on that Friday. We weren't sure, we didn't really have a directional bias, but we knew that the move was coming. And we have basically said, just be prepared for it. Do not be overexposed. But it's so difficult as a trader when you're in such a narrow range, which we were in for the last few weeks up until this big move down, that you can just get incredibly caught up on the low time frames. And then if a position goes against you, you just don't know what to do because it's moving too fast to even get out. And there wasn't even an opportunity to get out during this downtrend. So I know it's hurt people, this move down, and I know that it is very painful because you may have been in this market for years. Even you probably there's a few people that I've been speaking to spent a long time accumulating and basically losing everything. So this isn't meant as a to highlight those mistakes and everything, but the move down, this is what happens. This was peak bear yesterday. People made some bad decisions, and unfortunately the way that this market is, then that's just how it is, right? You get liquidated, you've lost it. So I don't really know how to approach it. I just want to say, like, if that is you and if you are feeling that pain today, you've come this far within the market. To give up now when we have quite possibly hit the lowest of the low, lower than many of us could have even thought was possible within this market, then you are wasting a massive opportunity. Okay, like it's just, everyone makes losses. I've lost accounts, I've made big mistakes in the past, but just keep yourself going, regroup, work smarter, work harder, be more sensible, get that risk management under control, get everything, not necessarily the technicals. You might be okay with the technicals. There, we've seen recently, this whole space is swamped with analysts, and there's a lot of bad information out there, to be quite honest with you. And it's just a case of get back to the basics, get your risk management in place. Do not give up with trading, because if you've spent the last few years learning, then to give up now when this is possibly, I mean, it may go lower, but there's a very high chance that this could be the biggest opportunity to get into the market, and you're going to have time. You could just go Okay, spend a few weeks, get yourself back together, step away from the charts for a little bit, and then just be sensible and just start to trade sensibly. Get yourself something nice together for the next time that we see conditions that are a bit more favorable for the trader. So again, I hope that makes sense. With all of these videos, I just basically press record and speak. So yeah, hopefully that came across okay and was the right kind of information. But I did just want to say that to start things off, because yeah, it's really important. If you throw away all the hard work that you've put in now and just give up on trading, then you've lost. Yeah, but if you've lost an account and you regroup and you try again, as long as you do it sensibly, then yeah, there's a good chance that you can come out of this a lot better in the future. Okay, so anyway, let's get into the charts. There's a trade that I'm looking at taking right now, so I'm just going to cover this and then we're going to go back over into the price action we had yesterday. So basically, very, very important support. Previous day point of control. Okay, it's the previous day point of control. What we have as confluence for that. Where's your VWAP? Where is your VWAP close? Previous day VWAP close, always a nice level. Also, New York point of control, and you can see just the level of, like, the amount of respect that this 21,200 region has had over the past day or so, and that is why I am looking at taking a long if price comes into this region. What we also have as well, additional confluence if you need it. There's your golden pocket. Okay, so there's a ton of confluence at this level. 21,200. Hopefully we're going to get this as I am as I am filming this video. I mean, it's just literally just a webcam, but hopefully we're going to get this. I'm just going to place an alert in case we do, and that will be a long that I'm looking at taking as a day trade as well, because what we're seeing at the moment is these swings are quite drawn out. I am in a short position, so I'm in a short position off of the daily level up here, the first time that we kind of hit into that. This obviously was overnight, so I wasn't awake to trade that SFP, but there was something very interesting about this high that was put in here as well. See if you can guess what it is. There's a line there already that might give you a clue. But if I just wind back a little bit, then you'll see where exactly this was that the price came into yesterday. So yeah, I'm in a short position. I'm obviously in a long as well from back in this range. That was when we had the this rounded bottom down at the lows. I know French Bull took that long. He called it brilliantly, and then of course we had some really nice stuff during the FOMC, so we're going to just cover that very briefly as well, what kind of price action we got there, also having a look at the legacy markets and seeing what they did during that section, or during that time. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So we've got a trade here. I'm in a short position from here. Okay, and this is looking to trade this down into the POC. We do also have to be aware that we do have an 80% setup in play, so you can see yesterday's value area within this region here. You can see obviously opening way outside of that, and look at the respect that we've had as soon as we've got caught into the previous day POC. I mean, that lines up very nicely, is that you have had 1, 2 attempts at breaking through. We actually had a very brief change of market structure here, but it wasn't able to kind of get that continuation off of this, and now we've seen this drop down. So rejection off of the value area low of the day and the previous day value area high. Coming in to previous day point of control, I would expect that to give us a decent bounce. I would then be looking at VWAP as potential resistance, and then do we have another chance here of coming all the way back down to test these lows again? I think there's a very real possibility that we can. I think we've established a nice range here. I do think this low here is going to be very heavily defended. Okay, you could see that it did not break yesterday, and that is key. Okay, you had a nice period of accumulation down at these lows where everybody was freaking out down here. Everybody was going, oh my god, we're going to go break through previous all-time high and it's going to be absolute carnage. We didn't. It got defended during the FOMC stuff. It had a very, very nice bounce from that, and this is going to be very significant moving forward. Okay, so that's that. Some of the other trades that we had yesterday. Okay, so this was during FOMC. We had a very, very interesting initially as we were... Where's price? It's still breaking down. I need to make sure that I've got my alert. My alert is there. It's okay. It's fine. I'll be able to trade this if it happens. I'm just going to turn on these bands. Okay, and this is why VWAP, volume, all of that kind of stuff is so nice. Look at the immediate volatility that we had during on the actual announcement itself. So we had this 1 minute Darth Maul candle bouncing off of the first extension to the downside, the standard deviation down, and then off of the upper band. Okay, so you had that really nice just ping ping off of these two levels, and then price came down, took the liquidity at the lows, reabsorbed, well, not really reabsorbed, but had a little bit of time down here, basically into the point of control of this range, and then had a really nice bounce off of it that again continued this market structure change of, here was your change of market structure. You didn't take out this low, that was key, that got defended, and then you had a really nice bounce up. Where did that bounce come to? Previous day point of control. Okay, so again, another opportunity to take a short position off of previous day point of control. You've had a couple of good scalps there, you've taken out the lows, you defended that low, you bounced, you got back inside value area, you came in to hit the previous day point of control. Then at this stage, this was some pretty nice little scalping that we had after this, so previous day POC. Then what we had was this, and I did attempt to take this short. I then got stopped out of it soon after. So short position off of the 618, coming back into the value area. Okay, bouncing off of that and then just coming back into the wick space up here. And then of course we were still looking for a move higher, which came all the way up into your daily level here, 1, 2. At this point taking a short position as I was about to go to sleep. And finally, okay, the other thing I do want to mention here is almost the exact high from this being, extend this across. And there you go. So there's your added confluence on that daily level, is you've already had a reaction off of the previous day point of control. You can see previously during this day that you'd had a reaction off the previous day value area low. So if you extend this across, there it is. There's a little wick into it. Again, nice scalp opportunity that came back into the POC of that day at the time. Then you have the previous day point of control, then you have the previous day value area high, and then you SFP of that high. And we get a really good move down of, so far, 7%. We're going to be at 8% by the time that this gets a bounce, and it's going to hit it. Okay, we're almost certainly going to come down and hit this previous day point of control, and I'm pretty confident at this stage that we're going to get a bounce from that level. The other thing that we're looking at right now is, I haven't actually noticed this so far today, but again, you can see that we're on pretty heavy downtrend so far for the day, with the outer band of the VWAP acting as really quite strong resistance. So every time we kind of hit into this, come into this VWAP region, we're getting rejected. Okay, and again, that was confluence here at this point here with your current day value area low, your previous day value area high, lining up at exactly the same levels. This is all starting to get a little bit messy. Lining up at exactly the same levels, so giving you that extra confluence for a further move to the downside. And now, where are we? We've just taken out this low. So what we had back here, okay, a little bounce off of this low. Okay, so a little bit of liquidity, gets yourself a bounce, 1%, decent for a scalp. I know a couple of people in the trading room took this earlier, so 1%, I know that didn't actually go from there. There you go, so you got a 1% bounce into value area low / previous day value area high. Come down here, you're taking out another little low. Are we going to get a bounce here? I'm not so sure, really. It's not that significant. And then if we do come a little bit further down, what do we have? Another little zone of liquidity down here, which is just adding for that confluence for this 21,200 level. So yeah, I think we're probably about to hit that, so I'm going to try and wrap this video up very quickly if I can. The only other thing that I want to mention, let's have a look at this. We're also getting a lot of longs opening down here, so if some of them can just get stopped out before we get a reversal, that would be quite nice. The other thing, blah, 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 blah. Where am I? S&P has just taken the lows. So we have just taken lows on the S&P 500. Okay, so on the futures, this low, which was our monthly level, the low of the order block has just been taken out. So again, yesterday you had a pretty decent bounce off of this. All right, 3.5% bounce is pretty crazy for the boomer markets. It's not often that you see them move that much, but this has just taken out the lows today. Still looking a little bit weak after a nice reaction then off of FOMC, but it all remained internal. Okay, you got that reaction. You weren't able to get continuation above that high after the reaction, and now it's come back, retraced all of yesterday's move, stopping out a bunch of people. And at this stage, again, I would expect some kind of reaction here. If this is going to act as resistance at this stage, then we could be in for another pretty nasty day, but we'll see how things go. We're obviously, unless this gets reclaimed quite quickly, then we're going to gap down, but it's okay, nothing really too significant on this. You can see that we're already working on a potential SFP of this. And what we've seen quite recently as well is, I mean, S&P's been kind of crashing the whole morning, right? And Bitcoin's been holding up quite nicely. So it's that delayed reaction again that what we were seeing last week is that every time that we'd get these big moves down on the S&P, then Bitcoin would hold and hold and hold, and then once S&P had kind of finished its move and had started to range down at the bottom or wherever it was, then Bitcoin followed and it was a little bit more extreme. So we'll have to be aware of that here as well, because we are coming right into obviously this support that is clearly very important. But oh, you've just taken out these lows. I was going to place my alert a tiny bit higher. I'm hoping that we still go a little bit lower, but we're basically there now. I should realistically have placed my alert below those lows, because if we do get front run, it's going to be quite annoying. So we have just, yeah, we've come into this level. It's close enough. I would still like to see a tiny bit more of a move down. We got to move all the way over here. There it is there. You've got liquidations down into that point. There we go. Okay, cool. I can take a trade. I can take a trade. I can take a trade. All right. As I finish this video, there is a trade. I'm going to wrap this up now so I can actually monitor it, because this is not set up the way that I really want it to be for taking a trade like this. But yeah, I'm in a long position now off of this previous day point of control. That was planned. That's what I was looking for. And on that note, I'm going to get to work and actually trade this properly. We'll see what happens. Be aware, there is still the 80% setup in play. We do have a high probability that we can come down here, but at this stage I'd be looking for a bounce at least into that kind of that lower band here on the VWAP, hopefully into the VWAP itself, and then potentially we'll be looking for a move down later on in the day. If this doesn't work out, then yeah, we know what the next level is. But for me, this is worth a scalp. So thank you for watching. I will see you all soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.